care about a John Cena match, which I don't think I've cared about a John Cena match in about 4 or 5 years. And there's got to be something there if he was able to do that.
Exactly. Here's the thing. The most interesting thing, even remotely related to John Cena recently, has been the little feud with The Miz, and that's because The Miz got to do it alone at first. He didn't have to deal with John Cena coming out and doing his stupid jokes. I mean, Miz is the one that gave me any reason to care about that feud. Miz is the only reason I was watching.
Miz is also the only one who cut promos, though.
Yeah, no, John Cena.
The only one that
you probably just thought you were watching the Game Show Network because he sounds like an amalgamated version of Jim Carrey every time he speaks. Hey, everybody, it's me, John Cena. Oh, now I'm going to get serious and talk about how I'm going to beat you up. Oh, geez, what a 2D character. He's an idiot, and he's so uncomfortable up there. Yeah, he can speak just fine like a public speaker, but he is just so full of bullshit, and that's why nobody above the age of 4 likes him.
I think to do with the way that WWE books him. I think with John Cena, it's a situation of, well, am I really going to say no to this? Because, hey, he's getting the title. He's winning matches. To me,
I agree.
He was actually pretty good. I know Jane's going to say, hey, the rap gimmick. But the rap gimmick was somewhat compelling because
it would happen. He would jog. He would lose matches. Then he would fight back. He would win. That was interesting. When he was U.S. champion and he was actually kind of a fair and balanced guy, he did well. But ever since they decided he's got to be the superstar and they made him into freaking Superman, there's nothing compelling about John Cena because I know he's going to win. I mean, I said this before, he got thrown through a spotlight and electrocuted. And the next night he came out stumbling. That's the massive.
He was stumbling.
I mean, but yeah, you cannot, okay, in any movie that anybody watches, if the protagonist does not face some sort of adversity, you are not going to get emotionally invested. And it's funny because Vince is always like, we make movies. Yeah, you make horrible movies. But as far as your wrestling, you don't have a protagonist that's actually believable because you don't let him actually get hurt. The Game, he by a smidgen, he lost a handicap match with these guys. Wow, Ted, Cody, you guys are slightly better than Triple H when you're together. That's wonderful. Great way to promote you guys. And Cena, wow, no one can beat him. In fact, Cena and Orton beat 40,000 guys last year in that match. And it's just, it is mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling, that Vince McMahon, that thinks that this is going to get over.
Well, look, you can't expect fair and balanced in wrestlers because they're not the Fox News network. But you got to look at wrestling the way that it is. And yes, you're right. But you get money. What's that?
A business meant to draw money. That's just it. John Cena does not draw. Yes, you can say, oh, it's not fair and balanced. Here's the thing. John Cena has done nothing to live up to the huge push he has been given. It's more than to pass time to throw in the towel and say, okay, this isn't going to be our guy, and start looking for somebody else.
Yeah, you get the same rating. I mean, you get the same 3.5 that you get without him.
Do you think so? Though? I mean,
and I'll be honest. Well, no, wait. I'll be honest here. From my personal perspective, I stopped watching the WWE regularly in 2007 when he was the champion for a year. So
we have a historical confirmation here of Cena being the anti-draw and actually forcing Patrick not to watch. So based on my study that I've done right now, Cena has -1 fans, and we haven't seen anyone who said that they watched because of Cena. So right now, that's my scientific thing I'm going on.
Yes, but that's just judging on the 4 people that are on the phone right now.
I know, James. It was a joke.
I know, but I'm saying there are kids. You cannot deny the drawing power of the guy because his T-shirts sell. You always see the shirts on little kids in the crowd. You know, we could sit here and be cynical about that and say, but those are little kids. They don't know better. You know what? But you know what? Guess what? Those guys are going to be the ones in 20 years that are going to be doing this kind of show.
Yeah, and you know what? They're going to be smarter by then, but by the time they get to age 10, they're like, oh, wait, this guy's in there very good. Let's not watch this anymore.
And James, kids will cheer for heroes. It could be anybody in that role.
Exactly.
I disagree with. Okay.
Same way, you're going to see a bunch of little kids dressed up like CM Punk. I mean, Hogan. Say which one about Hogan. He appealed to adults. He appealed to children. Austin appealed to adults, and that was at a time where they were really chasing the adult dollar. Sting.
But I was in 6th grade when Austin came out. There were kids into him too, so that's not really a fair argument.
Yeah. But I mean, Cena only gets kids, and yes, you may think, in 20 years they're gonna grow up. I know just as many kids that watched wrestling when they were little. This is adults today that watched wrestling when they were little. Like, yeah, I don't watch it anymore.
That's most of our generation. Everybody I talk to say, "Oh yeah, I don't watch it anymore. It hasn't been good since they bought WCW." I'm like, "You're correct, sir."
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, because I'm on Facebook now, and every once in a while I get a message from somebody on Facebook. Holy shit! I remember when you were such a big wrestling fan. I'm like, what do you do now? I'm like, run a wrestling business. And they say, you still watch that crap? And it's like, well, then don't I should watch it, but I also, am involved in trying to get these guys bookings and, store and a radio show and all this. And they're like, why? It sucked since 2001.
And James, if you had talked to somebody, an intelligent, respected person with a job and all sorts of things, and you said, hello, sir, I'd like to invite you over to my house this Monday so you can partake in Monday Night Raw. And, sorry, there's a train coming by, it might be a little loud. And they said, certainly, James, I'd love to watch this show with you. And then you guys saw the show, they would think you were an idiot. They would, if many of my friends that don't watch wrestling saw me watch that show on Monday, they would say, Erik Clancy, you are a fucking moron. And you know what? I would have said, you're absolutely right. I don't know why I watched that piece of garbage. But that was one of the most embarrassing things. I would suggest not putting on celebrities because their shows are so bad. I want them to be hidden from other people so they don't know how horrible wrestling is right now.
Oh, yes. Who was that little chinky dude? Was that like Sonny Ono? What was that?
What? We went over that while you were on the phone with Vito.
Okay. Now, that was horrible. Now, you were talking about Miz a few minutes ago, and we'll go back to that, and we'll finish up with that.
By the way, guys, if my phone goes out, I'm losing power, so I'm just letting you know.
Okay. Tell the truth, though. I think if Miz was ever going to turn babyface, all he had to do was clock the Asian dude, and he would have been the biggest babyface of the night.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that. Hold on one second. We were talking about that in reference to, his name is Ken Jeong, and he's actually in Knocked Up. He's funny in that. I didn't think he was very funny in The Hangover, but he's in a lot of the Judd Apatow comedies. But, yeah, we all agree that he was absolutely an abomination. And we had a long segment of talking about that, but, I mean, yeah, it was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous, but the best part is at the end of the show, Jerry Lawler said, when they turned heel, and Dr. Ken, as they called him, even though I've never heard them call him Dr. Ken before, Lawler said he was going, oh, we're from Hollywood, shut up. Basically I think it was supposed to be like a parody of like the heel, like the stereotypical like heel mannerisms that people do, although it was horribly executed. But Jerry Lawler says, well, you gotta wonder what happened to Dr. Ken. He's been so hilarious all night, and now he's making fun of our fans and hurting John Cena. He was doing the exact same thing, King. He was doing the exact same thing he was doing before, but except now it was directed at the fans and John Cena. So not only is King an idiot for thinking the original act was funny in the first place, but he's an even bigger idiot for not liking the act once it's directed at someone else. And it was just like, what a stupid character.
And King is picking up a new habit that is pissing me off, too. He would take a stupid line that wasn't funny at all, that this guy would say, and then repeat it and snicker.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh, my God.
Can you, by the way, I completely agree with you. I can't remember a specific line. Do you remember any of those? Because I just want to repeat those to I just want to laugh myself to sleep tonight.
I cannot remember.
I think the Bulldog line against Michael Cole. Wasn't that one of them?
What was that?
Where Michael Cole...
No, we're talking about the Bulldog? That Dr. Ken said.
Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't see it.
Well, I can't remember any of those lines, but it was pretty bad. He did it at least 3 times in the opening segment.
Yeah, he loved it. King loved it. King's an idiot.
I don't think King did love it. I think King just is paid to pretend that he loves it.
If so, he's...
Is that why he smiles like an idiot?
Yeah. Patrick called me the other day, and he said, Erik, you were completely right. I turned it on. They had the stupid smiling pumpkin faces. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
It was pretty bad.
But that's what they're paid to do. I mean,
I feel sorry for them.
If they really were going to sit there, if they said, what if they saw a match between Kelly and Gail Kim or something, and it was a friggin' horrible match? What if they went on the air and said, well, that sucked. Why do we employ these people? Jesus Christ.
I agree, but at the same time, go back and look at some stuff in '97. JR would make fun of No Holds Barred and all sorts of stuff, and they would make fun of, they would be honest about the product. I'm not saying they trashed their own product, but there was a sense of honesty there. And you're like, obviously you're going to still try to sell your product, but if you're going to meet me halfway here, I'll respect that, you know?
I remember when Jackie Gata fell flat on her face and had that terrible match with Trish on Raw, which was like the worst match ever. I think even JR made fun of it after a while.
Yeah, JR had a code word. It was called bowling shoe ugly, and he would say it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and you got to give, as bad as Lawler has been of late, you got to give JR credit, and I'm going to spin this positive.
Oh, I love JR.
He's doing a hell of a job on SmackDown with Morrison.
I think he's excited again.
I think he's legitimately excited about Morrison.